So what's the story then behind resting fresh roasted coffee before you brew it? How did that silly crap ever get started? What's the basis for that internet myth? Well, today on the Yankee Self-Sufficiency Channel, we're going to release the truth. Now I have hold on a minute. I have no false hopes of ever curing that silly internet myth about letting coffee rest. I'm just hoping that this will answer that curiosity question for those of you that are interested. The reason why fresh roasting coffee shops and houses let coffee rest before they roast it is because it's almost impossible to brew it in mass amounts. In fact, it pretty much is impossible to brew fresh roasted coffee like this in mass amounts. That's why coffee houses, fresh roasting coffee houses, rest their coffee at least a day before brewing it. And you see, some things, especially the finer things in life, can't be done in mass amounts. Some of the finer things in life aren't meant to be done in mass amounts. Now you guys that are roasting your own coffee, you've probably figured that out already. If you've ever tried to put fresh roasted coffee into an AeroPress and you're not careful about it, you're just going to have a giant volcano mess. I'm sure everybody has went through that. I have went through that myself. Fresh roasted coffee has so much energy coming out of it. You know, it'll just bubble up, foam up, and go crazy on you. In fact, I couldn't send you fresh roasted coffee if I didn't get the valves in back. That's why I have valves on there. And when I send you guys samples, that's why I poke a hole in the sample bag, a small hole, so the thing can breathe. Otherwise it would blow up, literally, inside the package that I'm sending you. You'd have a giant coffee mess inside the post office bag. When I had my retail shops, I invested in some Fetco brewers, top of the line Fetco brewers. And they were over $3,000. And Fetco was trying to push the limits on brewing fresh roasted coffee, and they devised a timer system that would wet the grounds down a little bit at a time, you know, with maybe a few minutes in between each wetting to try to control the foaming issue. But I never was able to, even with that system, how expensive it was, I was not able to get anywhere near brewing fresh roasted coffee. I at least had to wait overnight for the coffee to settle down. Now, of course, the stuff in the grocery store is really old. I mean, some of the stuff on the shelf is over 30 days old. Some of the Folgers and Maxwell and Aldi's and all the 4 a.m., that could be over a year old. They don't have to worry about their coffee foaming up. It's completely dead. You know, when you see coffee that's vacuum packed especially, that means it's completely dead. That's why they can vacuum pack it. Now, there's nothing wrong with letting it sit overnight. It's still going to be fresh roasted, fantastic coffee the next day. But, you know, if you want to brew up fresh roasted coffee right after you roasted it, that's the best time, you know, to be able to roast it and taste those flavors right away. That is the peak of tasting coffee, and that's why when you go to cup coffee or you're testing coffees, you roast it up right there on the spot, you grind it while it's still warm, and you taste those coffees, because that's when the flavors are the most vibrant. And that fresh roasted coffee is going to stay unbelievable for about the next 10 days. My guess is that the whole resting your coffee internet myth was started by some pimply-faced 15-year-old barista that happened to work at a fresh roasting coffee shop for 2 hours a week to make his mom and dad happy, and he saw that they rested their coffee a day, and then he goes on internet forums and parrots that, and then the next thing you know, you got all these other people parroting these internet idioms all over the place. That's the age of disinformation at its best. People just love to look smart, whether it's real or not. And most of the time with the AeroPress, if I'm brewing fresh coffee, I will pre-grind ahead of time, because grinding it is the quickest way to settle the coffee down. You expose a lot more of the coffee by grinding it, and it'll quickly settle down that way within 15-20 minutes. So a lot of times, even sometimes overnight, I'll grind it right before I go to bed if it's fresh coffee, and then get up in the morning and brew it up. But the point is, you don't have to. It's not going to make the coffee better tasting if you wait. It's just going to settle it down. Now you guys that I'm sending these packages out today, you're going to get it, you know, I roast it same day, and you're going to get it within 24 to 36 hours, a couple days at the most. So you don't have to worry. By the time it gets to you, it's ready to go, in perfect shape, settled down. Anyway, that's it in a nutshell. That's the only reason fresh roasting coffee shops let their coffee rest. It's for brewing issues. It's just impossible to do some of the finer things in life in mass amounts. Some things are meant to do one at a time. Anyway guys, I'll let you go while I have a cup of fresh brewed Costa Rica. Excuse me. Have a great day.